Oh, I mean, well-earned second-place finish. I mean, they had a heck of a year, not only in the league, overall. And, no, it's a tough place to play. And if you take a look at the games we played in Augustana in November, I mean, we won an overtime game, and then they took it to us on Saturday. I think it was 5-1. And it was one-sided at that particular time. So we know what we're in for, and we got our work cut out for us. But at the end of the day, it's the playoffs. It's exciting. It's a new season, all that kind of jazz that we always talk about. And again, it's a long season. College hockey is just the longest season there is, and a lot of times the second half of the year, it's like Groundhog Day, and this is the time we wait for. So they're excited. We're excited. So Friday can't come quick enough.
When you think of the Garrett Ravelin team, now having played that iteration of him 4 times in 2 years, what do his teams do well?
They do a good job. I don't want to get totally technical, but they wedge well. They try to cut the rink in half, keep you on one half of the rink. They do a very good job of that. They defend hard. They got good detail to their game. You know what? They do a good job. They're well coached, and they're really disciplined.
When you talk about a team that likes to force you to one side of the rink, what's the most effective way to break out of that and use that full sheet? Well,
again, you have to have good width, and you got to move the puck quick, and you just got to make sure too that you don't get boxed in.
I think back to the start of the year, and when you started non-conference play, it was the most experienced version of this lineup that you could have put on the ice. And at times, you come out of that January, and it was kind of the experience taking over again with Flameng and Irie and Jutting and Martin, the cornerstone guys that were part of this little turnaround here. Now you go into playoffs, and you have, again, another very experienced group going up against a group of guys that haven't been here and done that. Some of them with the portal, right? But how does that experience play a factor this weekend, going up against a bunch of guys that haven't been in this environment before?
I don't know. I mean, I think at the end of the day, hockey's hockey. And, can you draw back from certain experiences? Probably a little bit, but at the end of the day, hockey's hockey. They're the home team. They're the ones who, over the course of the year, earn the right to be a home team. I don't think it's that big a deal. I really don't. I just think there's such a small margin of error with all the teams. I always tell our guys, the one thing about our league, we're all the same animal. And so I don't think that stuff is that big a deal. I think the biggest thing is probably the things that we always look at during the regular season: goaltending, special teams, face-offs, all those types of things. They're always kind of X factors in the playoffs because now you're fighting for survival.
Can experience play into that desperation factor?
Well, you hope so. I mean, you hope so that these guys, the guys who have played more games. But like I'm saying, I'll tell you right now, Jared, look at their team. We're not much older than them. Take a look at that decor, the guys they got from the portal. So it's easy to say they've been a 2-year team, but the Rikas of the world, the Zemers of the world, the McIntyres of the world, the Mobleys of the world, the Matsuis of the world. I mean, I can't remember all their roster, but these guys, these guys are seniors. So they got a lot of guys from the portal that these guys are experienced as well.
Talked about it comes down to goaltending, special teams, face-offs, and all the intangibles that make a playoff game what it is. And I think one of the more interesting ones is you guys have a red-hot power play. It's one of the best in the league, and they have one of the best penalty kills in the league. And when it comes to kind of breaking through on that penalty kill unit, what is it going to take?
I don't know. It's just, those are tough questions. I can't answer those questions. The bottom line of anything is execution. And, it's maybe not the first pass, but it's the second pass or the third pass. It's making good reads and quick sticks, puck recovery, just all the, just the details of what it takes to be a good. We always think of a power play as making that last play, but a lot of it goes into all the work that transpires to make that last play. And I think we've been doing a pretty good job of those things. I think we've been spread out pretty good. I think we've been having good puck recovery. I think we've simplified a little bit. So we'll see what happens. I don't get too wrapped up in where's this team and where's that team. The bottom line is I do worry about us. It's our execution. It's what we're doing. And we'll just see what happens. It's just another weekend of playing hockey against a different team and a team that we don't know very well.
What do you like out of Noah Quinn's game lately?
Well, he's doing a good job on the power play. I can tell you right now, we like what Quinter's doing on the power play, but Quinter's also playing with a lot of confidence. He's really stabilized that line, I think, with Jutz and Casper, and he's added a physical dimension to his game where now he's playing with a lot more depth. And when he's playing with depth, I told him that the other day, when he plays with a lot more depth, his overall game improves. And his overall game, he's more of a threat right now. And I just really like Quinter's mindset right now.
I think that physical addition to his game has been very evident this year. Is that where he made the biggest jump from last year?
Absolutely, and that was an expectation from the coaching staff to him, and he was challenged on that, and he's responded.
How invaluable is it to have a kid of his size play with that much physicality with the speed that he has?
Well, I think it's everybody. I don't think just because one person. I expect the same out of all my guys. I told him that the other day. I expect the same out of all of our guys. There's just an expectation on how to play and what to do. And it doesn't matter who you are. I don't care if you're small. Smallest guy in the team, I expect just as much grit as the biggest guy in the team. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, you know what? Size of your heart's the same. You know, your guts are the same. Your compete level's the same. So, you know, there might be different types of physicality or different types of compete, but little guys, you know what, medium-sized guys or big guys, I expect the same out of all of them. The contribution's got to be equal.
Thank you.
Coach, I know you said that, you know, hockey's hockey, but we know when you get to the postseason, like you said, the margins are slimmer, right?
Oh, yeah.
It feels like everything gets tighter. How do you prepare for that, or is that something you don't really prepare for? It's something you get thrown into it, and then you just got to feel it as the game goes on?
Charlie, good, you know, great logic right there. It's like any sport. You know, the guys know, and they know it's do or die, you know, and they know how to play. And the mistakes are magnified right now. But you can't totally worry about the mistakes. You got to be cognizant of where you are on the rink. Is there pressure? Are there guys in the vicinity? But you still got to manage the puck. You still got to play good defense. But you can't get consumed with all that other stuff. You still got to score goals. You still got to play hockey. And but you have to understand that the risk is monumental at this particular time of the year.
Yeah, no, they're a good team. They play hard. They play fast. They got a good goaltender. We just got to get inside and make it difficult for them. We just got to do the little things and keep doing what we're doing. And yeah, I like our chances.
I don't know. Remind me if I'm wrong, but this is going to be your first playoff series, right? Like playing in it. What's that anticipation like for you going into this, knowing you're going to play for the first time?
For sure, it's super exciting. It's kind of you look for these moments all year. Everything builds up to this, and now it's do or die. But we're excited. We're ready to go. So yeah, we're happy.
What do you remember of the way that Augustana plays and the things that you well?
Yeah, they don't really give you much offense. They defend really well. They not much time and space in the offensive zone. So like I said before, we just got to get to the inside and make it hard for their D to defend. And yeah, same with their goaltender. He's a good goalie, so we just got to get traffic and make it difficult for him to stop pucks.
We've talked about it a few times this year, but the first half it was kind of in and out, and now you're not only consistently playing, but you're seeing good minutes and power play minutes. And what's just been this overall year like for you, mentally, physically, and going through this season?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of ups and downs, but I mean, like, you just got to stick with it, and yeah, compared to the first half, it was definitely a challenge, and you just got to take every day and work hard and think of every practice like it's a game, and yeah, it's paid off a little bit here and getting some success, but this job's not done yet, so playoffs we're looking forward to it.
When every single team in the country has guys fighting for ice time and guys fighting to keep ice time, what's that mentality like week to week for you going through proving why you should stay in the lineup?
I think just being confident in myself and knowing why I'm here in the first place and just sticking with that and knowing what I do well and doing those things to the best of my abilities and everything will take care of itself.
Was there a point in this season where that confidence really started to take over a bit?
I think the last couple of weekends I've kind of felt like I'm settled in. I feel confident with the puck and I can make plays with my line mates, and I also feel confident in Jutz and Casper. They can also make great plays as well, so I feel like we're kind of feeding off each other. So, yeah.
What's the chemistry like with Jutz and Casper? Because your games kind of complement each other pretty well.
Yeah, no, the first like couple weeks it was a bit rusty, but in practice we've definitely started to click and know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and when we can just read off each other, and I think that's when we can really be at our best.
When Coach was in here earlier, he talked about how he wants to challenge you guys into playing with more grit, playing with more physicality, and how specifically you took on that challenge. Talk to me about that process of adding physicality and grit to your game to compete at this level.
Totally. Yeah, he preaches that every day and every week. And I think when you can be physical, you're on the inside of the game all the time, and you're in the game. So I think whenever you can be physical and get like bang bodies, I think it's super helpful. And yeah, it's just sacrifice stat that not many people look at, but it's super important on a game-to-game basis.
I want to bring it back to when you were in juniors. Talk to me about your recruiting process and what brought you here to Bemidji State.
Yeah, it was actually kind of out of the ordinary. It was just a Wednesday game, and Mike Gibbons was there after the game. Kind of chatted with him, and I knew of some fellow people from back home, Ross Armour and Reese Hunt. They came here, so I kind of was familiar with Bemidji and knew of where it is on the map, and yeah, I kind of just took off from there, and then all of a sudden I got a visit down here and fell in love with the place, and yeah, the rest is history, and it's been awesome.
How much did those connections with Ross and Reese really play a factor into you coming here?
Yeah, I think it's super helpful knowing people that have been here and are now moved on and kind of can give you a story of how they enjoyed Bemidji State. And yeah, they both had nothing but great things to say, and it definitely made my job and my choice a little easier.
What was your freshman year like?
It was a bit of a challenge, I'll be honest. It was lots of ups and downs as well, but I think I just stuck with it every day and kind of took every day like it's a new day, and trying to learn from guys like Kyle Loaf, like those guys, like even Eric Polkamp, he was a freshman too, but just the things that they did, like every day was like top notch, like pro level things, and just like learning what they did and bring that into my game and just sticking with the plan. Like it was, at the end of the day, it was a tough year, but we were a championship team and we were winning, and ultimately that was whatever we had to do to win was the best thing for the team, and yeah, I was just happy I could be a part of it.
When you go from being on a championship team to being a fourth liner, rotational guy, it could kind of leave you with probably a different feeling than maybe some of the guys that are playing top line or top D pair, right? What was that? Was it conflicting for you at all going through that last year, and did it motivate you at all to kind of take some more of that role?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely motivating last year. It was kind of every week, it was just itching to get into the lineup and fighting for being in the lineup. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm happy where I'm at, and I'm still not satisfied where I'm at, but I think the work is paid off with last year, and I'm just looking forward to see what we can do here in the playoffs.
Talk about your freshman class that came in. It was a big freshman group, but you guys seem like a pretty close-knit group, and how do you guys push each other when you guys are all fighting for lineup spots?
Yeah, totally. I mean, between me, Jake, and Chids, we're all forwards, and we're all super close. We have the same classes together, we live together, so I think we're all in it together, and we all have that internal fight, but at the end of the day, we want what's best for each other, and yeah, so I think like the challenge is good for each other, but at the end of the day, we just want what's best for each other.
What's the best part about playing college hockey for you?
Probably just the rivalries, honestly. This year, like, I've gotten to play more, obviously, so I think, like, playing those rivalries, like North Dakota, like going to Tech, just, like, even Bowling Green at home, Bowling Green on the road, even last weekend, Mankato, like, just the rivalries, and every Friday and Saturday night is just a fight, and it's just awesome because every game feels like a playoff game.
Does it feel like you guys are starting to build a little bit of a rivalry with Augustana, knowing that they play each other in every other sport here at BSU?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, we only saw them twice this year, so I wouldn't say we're as familiar as other teams, but no, it was definitely exciting, and I think coming into the next year, there'll be a rivalry for sure.